Once upon a time, there was a little boy who wanted to be a knight. He took lessons and he was in tournaments, all while striving towards a goal that he knew was reachable if only he wanted it enough. Unfortunately, the little boy wasn't too good of a knight. In fact, he kinda sucked. He was lucky to figure this out early on, and in the long run it was probably the better choice, because in the process of ending his knight studies, he realized that what he really wanted to do was to be a king. Yes, king! It's perfect! If he couldn't contribute to the world at the front of a battlefield, he would do so from behind one. And so, the little boy set out in pursuit of a new dream. A dream that, quite frankly, suited his control issues and budding narcissism. He made his first political move with the bare minimum of an understanding of the kingdom, and the product reflected this fact. Undaunted by this obstacle, the little boy went into schooling and picked royalty as his major. Unfortunately, this put him in touch with quite a few other royalty majors, many of them arrogant about their desires, just as he was. Confronted with the prospect that perhaps he just didn't have the talent to make it in the arena to which he aspired, the little boy had somewhat of a crisis of character. You see, the little boy had lived his entire life under the assumption that he was destined for great things, and so the concept that he may or may not be able to actually achieve these great things was one that rattled him to the core. Heavily introspective and slightly depressed, the little boy retreated to his home and shut himself tightly inside. From there, he planned out a grand coup of the current regime, all the while testing the waters and training himself using a tool called Coup Tube. The little boy trained and plotted for many moons, his mind racing like a locomotive, which was kind of funny since locomotives hadn't been invented yet. Finally, after preparing for so long, the little boy opened the door to his home and stepped out into the world. No longer was he a little boy. Now he was a man. The man had learned the secrets of the kingdom, and with a snap of his fingers, he took the land and the people's hearts in one fell swoop. The man, who was once a little boy, was now a king. Word of his magnificent achievements spread throughout the land, and none challenged his throne, and he lived happily ever after. The end. I'm sure by now that many of you have figured out the secret of the story, that I was the little boy. Unfortunately, sometimes a story is just a story, and while I may wish very much that I became that man, things don't always work out according to wishes. So, for now, I'll continue to study royalty, all in the hopes that one day I can still become a king.